So in today's video, we're going to talk about the full process of hiring great chatters. Now, the first thing that matters is obviously where to find them. And it's very, very simple. We just go over to here to onlinejobs.ph. Up here next to the post a job section, you'll find a section that says create an account. Once you've created an account, you'll get taken to this page. And on this page, you have your job post. What I recommend doing is upgrading for instant job approval. I'm pretty sure, yeah, the pro, just go for the pro. It's $69. You can use the free if you want to, but I highly recommend using the pro. You can instantly upload your post. You can make free posts. It's just a good investment. Make sure that you upgrade to the pro, especially if you have some money to throw around to find chatters. But anyway, back to this page. This is where you'll post your job, and a lot of people are going to see it, and you have to be careful with how you post it. You can't mention anything to do with OnlyFans, anything sexual, anything along those lines, because you'll be instantly removed. Even when I posted the my job, even when I posted my job posting, it got removed after like 1 or 2 hours, and I had to post another one, and then that one also got removed within like an hour. So you have to be really careful with what you say. But even if it's up for like 1 hour, and make sure that you do it during a good time zone for Filipino people. Even if it's up for 1 hour, you can get a good bunch of people to go through the next stages of hiring. So what you want to do with the job posting is very simple. You can copy and paste this, although I highly recommend against it. Do your own one. You don't want millions of the same things just going around. So this here would be my title. Job title, go here. Type of employment, you can choose full-time or part-time, whichever works best. And then obviously the job description, which is the most important part. So I'll just copy and paste this whole entire thing. We're hiring 4 remote chat support agents to join our agency. Super simple. The pay, the commission bonus based on earned shift, location, Philippines, working from home with flexible hours, and the requirements are strong written English, fast typing, and reliable internet, confident, empathetic, and coachable. No experience, no problem. We provide full training. To apply, please fill out this form, complete the listed tests. Shortlisted applicants will be contacted via Discord. Good luck. And then this is obviously hashtags for Facebook groups, which we're not doing. So let me get rid of that actually. So now you have your full job description already posted in here. You know what the pay is going to be. So you can put the pay in this section. Desired hours 40 to 48. Give people a day off depending on what they want to do. And yeah, that's pretty much everything. You can search up skills that they may be required. So you can have English proficiency, English speaking, you can have some IT. Copywriting is a good skill. You can select up to 3 skills, and basically, in short summary, this is all you need to post your job posting. Again, upgrading will make it a lot easier, a lot better, but you might waste money. For example, I spent this $69 twice and only got like 2 hours worth of a post. But if you're more careful, you're more calculated about how you actually post, you might be able to have the post up longer. So that's pretty much it. Once you post this, you want to make sure that you have a form, which is this, to link people to. So everybody who sees the job posting, they know, okay, I'm interested. The pay is good. Obviously, let's talk about pay. I overlooked the pay. You want to choose a good pay, which you can stick to, which you can afford. So how much are you going to pay them hourly? Are you going to give them commission on top? Are you going to be commission only, which I advise against because Filipinos don't seem to like commission only jobs. They want something secure. So Are you going to pay them just hourly? Are you going to pay them just by commission? Are you going to do both? How much are you going to pay them per hour? What's the commission going to be like? For this, I would recommend somewhere in the ballpark of $2 to $6 an hour. And for commission, again, like 2 to 10% commission. Choose your exact number. Don't put it like $2 to $6 or 2 to 10%. For example, you can do 10% commission, $2 an hour, right? It's completely up to you. That's not what I did. Choose what you think's right. Again, it's up to you. So once you have this and you have your form made, which we're going to go through now. Again, you can't post the job until you have the form, which is here. So this is the form that people get redirected to once they click this link here. So it's basically super simple. It's a Google form that's going to collect everybody's data. And we do this so that we can funnel away all of the bad applicants easily. Okay, so just simple chat support application, remote OF agency. We're hiring remote chat support agents for our Onlyfans agency. This is a fully remote opportunity for experience or fast learning individuals with strong English skills, empathy, and work ethic. You'll start at, again, whatever price you say, with opportunities for bonuses, promotions, and long-term growth. So this is a super simple form for those people to fill out. You'll see who really wants the work, who's lazy, and who doesn't even try. So first, obviously, you have their name, you have their email, you have their Discord username, super important. It's super easy to message people on Discord. You have their location, which is not important at all, but for some reason back then I did this. Then obviously a yes or no. Do you have previous experience with chatting, sales, or customer support? If yes, describe briefly. Then we move on to the tests. We have them go through a typing speed test, an internet speed test, an English proficiency test, personality test, and an IQ test. So 5 different tests. Again, this helps funnel out all of the bad applicants. And also we have them do a voice introduction, 1-minute introduction, who you are, what you're passionate about, and why this job interests you. This is a super important addition. Then we ask how many hours can you work per week, include your preferred days, your preferred times in your own time zone. And then obviously I just exchange the time over to my time zone so I can see what hours they would be. Do you have access to a computer, laptop, and stable Wi-Fi? Yes or no? Do you have experience with OnlyFans or adult content? No experience is okay, just answer honestly. Yes or no? Are you looking for short-term or long-term work? What's your best trait? What's your worst trait? What is your biggest reason why you want to work hard? And why should we hire you for this role? From top to bottom, this is a good selection of questions and tests to make sure that the applicants that you do push through to the next stage have been fully vetted through a automated process. And basically they vet themselves, right? Like, for example, where is it? What's your best trait? What's your worst trait? These are kind of important questions because depending on how the applicant answers them, kind of shows you what type of person they are. They could get the best internet speed, typing speed, English proficiency, but then if their answer for these two is kind of weird, kind of lackluster, they haven't put any thought into it, any energy, then you know what type of person they are, right? They could be Albert Einstein, but if they don't have any drive to make their application the best that it can possibly be, then you don't want them on your team. Okay, so that's the application. Let's go over the tests. Type and speed test is obviously just a words per minute. You go through, you have to, for example, type in this and then it'll come up with a score at the end. Internet speed test. Hopefully this doesn't show any locations or anything. But basically this is just an internet speed test. How fast is their internet? If they have slow internet, it's not going to be very good for the job that they need to be doing. English proficiency test. Again, just some questions, assessments on stuff to do with English. Next, personality test. You've probably seen this one before. just answer a few questions, and then they do an IQ test, which again is just more questions for people to go through. It's super easy. Again, if people look at this and they go, oh, I don't want to do it, good. You don't want them giving you applications anyway. Now, once everybody has answered all of this stuff, you'll have a section up here that says responses, and you can filter it so that you can look at each individual person's responses. So, for example, response 1, you'll see the person's first name, email, Discord, location, etc., etc. You'll see all of their responses, and obviously they have an add file button here. So you can see all of the files. You can see the screenshots of their typing speed, internet speed, English proficiency, personality test, IQ, all of this stuff. And you want a place to collect all of this data and put all of this data in. So we have a Google Sheet with everything that you need to know. This is where we collect every single piece of information. So for example, if we have 100 responses, we're going to have 100 names down here, right? Go to response 1, get the name, put the name in, get the Discord, put the Discord in, location. Again, I don't know why I put location. You can ignore location, it's not really important. You can go to the typing speed, put their typing speed. For example, they do 60 words per minute. The name could be Jack 123. English score could be a C2. Voice clarity could be very clear. For example, experience, no. Availability, 9 till 9. Again, this is just how you would put all of the individual answers in. Look at their internet speed, look at their English test, their personality test, their IQ test, and then it will look something like this. I know this looks crazy and ugly, but for me, this is just how it worked. So obviously over here, I've blanked out everybody's name and their Discord, but this is the batch of applicants that we got the first time we ever did any hiring. So we have the name, their Discord, their location. Again, it's irrelevant. How many words they typed per minute. For example, this one is 68 words per minute. The English score was a B1. A1 is the worst, C2 is the best. So it goes A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. This is off their voice note, their voice clarity. Was their voice clear? Yes. What experience do they have? Experience in sales. Availability, 40 hours per week. They want to work ASAP. Their personality, this was the only person, I think, yeah, this was one of the only people that just did their own personality test, which kind of was like, I gave them a link to the correct one, and they just did their own one. I believe they did their own IQ test anyway, but moving on. So I just take all of the applications, go through all of the responses, and then I would layer things out. How many words, what their English score, their experience, availability, personality, and IQ. I had to do a little bit of research to figure out what personality types are the best for the role that they're going to take. Obviously, the ones in green are the best, yellow, second best, orange, third best, red, not very good. So yeah, basically this is where we will track all of the data that we get from the form. Again, people will send their results and then you just plug and play it into the form. Once they've done that, you can decide, okay, for example, this person, obviously this was an awful application. They didn't do a voice note. They didn't tell me about their experience. They only wanted to work 4 to 6 hours and they had the bad internet test. Again, this one, same story, didn't do the personality test, bad internet. This one, again, bad. And it was just easy doing things this way to kind of, again, filter out more people so that they can move on to stage 2. And obviously all of these people that say stage 2 moved on to stage 2. They didn't have to be perfect. For example, R1 over here, which is one of our best chatters, someone that we hired, didn't have the fastest words per minute, didn't have the best English proficiency, didn't speak the clearest, didn't have much experience, but again, they turned out to be an amazing chatter. And then obviously down here, this is me. Even me, I didn't get the best words per minute, or the best personality for this type of job, or the best IQ score. But this was just an easy way to kind of filter out people to see who could move on to the next stage, see who would be good at this role. And then obviously everybody that made it to stage 2, I put here. And yeah, again, this looks confusing, but we'll go through that now. So stage 2, after I collected, let's see how many people we have. We have like 20 people. After I collected 20 people from the original 50 or so, I then moved them on to stage 2, which was just some mock chat assignments. And it's just simple stuff like this, right? I'd send them 3 docs. They had 3 mock assignments to do. And this is doc 1, instructions. Answer the following prompts as if you're chatting with a fan on Onlyfans. Be playful, confident, emotionally aware, and engaging. Use correct grammar, punctuation, and natural tone. Again, and for document 1, they had 3 different parts to go for. So part 1, flirty roleplay prompt. A fan just sent you $10 and said, "Hey gorgeous, what would you do if me and you're alone right now?" Your response: write 4 to 6 lines with different response sentences. Be suggestive but not too explicit. Use playful, confident tone. And this is just the same for part 2 and part 3 with different scenarios. Then obviously they would get mock chat assignment 3, which again is pretty much the same thing as the first one, just different scenarios, how they would respond to this stuff. Again, if they had no experience, it's good to see what their mind could come up with originally. And then mock chat 3 was a bit different. It's about whale handling and a bit of fantasy mastery. So again, high roller, fantasy control, dangerous, boundary push, reigniting a dead whale, live kink roleplay, full scene, erotic writing test, and a damage control scenario. For example, stuff like this is good. A fan just tipped $50, but your model, you, didn't reply fast enough. He messages you angrily. Wow, I tipped and she ignored. You just scam people. Again, seeing how different chatters, different people would react to these types of scenarios is super important. So phase 2, again, filters out a lot of people who can handle these types of assessments. What will they do? Do I like how they responded? What are their answers? Stuff like this. So again, each applicant would then either move on to stage 3 or fail. Again, I have this in this document. So this is the current status of each person. So for example, person 1, no reply. Second person, they wasn't interested in the role. Fourth and fifth, or third and fourth, they completed stage 3, for example. This is whether we contacted them. So people could have, for example, moved on to stage 2, and then we didn't hear back off them from Discord or anything like this. So again, stage 2 done. G completed stage 2, for example. Here's the notes for stage 2. Bit too robotic. So that would be her responses for these mock assignments, maybe too robotic, ChatGPT sounding, or something along those lines. Anyway, she was a bit too robotic. Of these 3 people, they got sent stage 2. They didn't complete it. I remember this guy. He completed like the first 2 mocks and didn't send the third. So I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna deal with you. That's your own fault. All of these people completed stage 2, and then obviously I didn't like it, so they failed. Good but unsure. They can move on to the next stage. Move on to the next stage. All of these people moved on to the next stage because they gave good answers on the mock assignment. Now, what would stage 3 be? Which is one of the last stages. It would be mock conversations. So let's go back to stage 2 for 1 second. It's very easy for a chatter or a potential applicant to be sent this document, and then they have like however much time to answer the questions. They could search up on Google what's the right way to go about this. They could use ChatGPT, etc. But stage three is live, one-on-one mock assessments or one-on-one live chats. So this is the message that we would send to the people who moved on to stage three. So just to give you a quick rundown of how this next stage will go, we will be acting out roleplay. Basically, I will be pretending to be a subscriber or a fan, and you will be acting as the model. This is done in real time to ensure the best results possible. I'll give you a brief description of the type of fan and also a brief profile on them. It is your job to act as the model and drive the fan to purchasing some content. So this is for me or for anybody else who's hiring in the business in my agency. How to use deliver fan messages one by one during the trial, staggered every 1 to 2 minutes, so acting real, alternating between the three characters, evaluate chatter's instinct, emotional tone, upsell skill, creativity, and realism. You can adapt pacing depending on how long you want the trial to run. We actually moved it up to 4 individual fan scenarios instead of just 3. And obviously, we have 7 different ones to pick from. But the 4 that I would use would be fan 1, which is just a small fish, free attention addict. This is what would be sent to the potential applicant. Who the fan is, for example, his name's Jay, he's a small fish, free attention addict. His profile is he tipped $5, he's always online, he loves compliments, and he wants free sexting. And then that's where the conversation would start. I would send the first message, for example, damn, that last selfie, you know exactly what you're doing. The chatter or applicant would then respond, and then I would either continue sending the copy and paste messages, or depending on what the chatter would do, I would mix in some of my own knowledge and just kind of freestyle with it, see what works best. It was kind of different for each person. And then at the end, I would just say, okay, let's end here. And then I would give them a score out of 5. Not to them, but I would write down on a separate doc. I'll give them a score out of 5 for fan 1. Then we'd move on to fan 2. Again, we'd send this. Mike, high potential whale, emotional hook, his profile, 100 tips in the last week. He chats daily, he wants VIP, but needs to feel like he's the only one. Again, I'd just send the first message and go through that. Rinse and repeat for the third one. He's a silent sub, cold lead conversion test. Profile, follows but has never chatted, no tips, cold energy. See how well the chatter can re-engage and spark curiosity. So again, this is a super cold fan. Just like, hey, and then depending on their response, I'm just browsing. Do you message everyone like that? Why should I even bother open your pay-per-views? I know that you know these types of fans, right? And then we didn't do this one. We did this one because it's kind of kink curious. His profile is he wants kinky attention but doesn't always know how to ask, which is good because we can see how the applicants then steer the fan into being able to talk about the things that he wants to talk about, right? So you ever do joy, or are you more vanilla? Have this thing I've never told anyone? Can I say here? This is a good one because we can then see how the potential chatters can make the fan feel comfortable. So that's pretty much what we did for stage 3. Again, we just did the same thing as we done with stage 2. Did they complete it? What was their score? So we do oh no, their score was out of 10, not out of 5, because it's out of 40. So we do 4 separate the 4 separate scenarios like I just showed you, and then we'd score each one out of 10 and then just add them up, and then obviously out of 40. So for example, G here got 31 out of 40, 24 out of 40, etc, etc. And again, all of these tests are good to filter out the best people. We definitely got rid of a lot of potential time wasters by doing it this way and doing it how we did it. But the key thing to notice here, which I want to talk about, which is the reason why I actually have some names highlighted. Let's look at J, for example. Let's go back onto this page and look at J, number 44. J was the only person who had a green everything, 87 words per minute typing speed, C2 English proficiency, A very, very clear voice note. 3 years of chat support. Could work 48 to 56 hours. Great personality and a great IQ. I even put here great application. He moved on to stage 2. Again, let's look at Jay. Best so far, incredible to be honest. After his stage 2, he got the highest on stage 3. He was my first. He was like my golden goose. He was like, this guy's the best. He's the top. We did not hire him because once we got into the interview phase, he was being weird about the fact that he would have to share his screen so that we could see what he's doing on the model's account, and we didn't end up hiring this guy, right? But he was the best. And then on the flip side, let's look at R1, for example, number 48. Didn't have the best typing speed, second best English proficiency. Voice note was a bit here. Sales, which is good, but it was a bit, this could be green. 48 hours a week, which is good. Good personality, the best IQ actually. And even though the voice note wasn't clear, she had a good voice note. I remember she had a long voice note talking about, oh, she wanted to work hard for her family, she wanted to do this and that. It wasn't entirely about the business. I remember her voice note being very, very good. That's why obviously I put in the notes good voice note. And the funny thing about R1 is the original 3 chatters that we hired for this role, she was not one of them. But she was that good in terms of her stage 2. I remember her stage 2 was R1. Amazing stuff, very into the role. Her stage 2 was very good. So good, in fact. Maybe even the best. Maybe even better than Jay, in fact. But it was so good that we hired her also and trained her on the side. We didn't put her on any accounts, but we trained her on the side. And as you can see here, her stage 3 wasn't the best either. She almost got less than half points. But I had a gut feeling about this person that she had so much potential. So much potential. And that's why we took her on as a backup to train. And her stage 3 was bad because I felt that she was during the live mocks, which or the live conversations or mock conversations between me and the potential chatters. She was a bit shy. She wasn't speaking like she was in her stage 2, so I knew there was something wrong there. And now she's if not she's one of if not our best chatter. So again, all of this stuff is good to filter out the bad eggs, right? We definitely dodged a lot of bullets doing this. But again, every result matters. She did very good on stage 2. She had a very, very good voice note. I had a good feeling about this person because of how she was speaking about her family, how she wanted to work hard. And anybody can say this, right? But she was super sincere. And then we had her as a backup. So yeah, you can't just look at all of these results and be like, okay, let me take a good example. Um, Number 26, very good results, right? But again, we didn't hire them. So all of this does matter, but again, don't take it as verbatim. I probably rambled on a bit too much. Yeah, so we went over stage 3. If people passed stage 3, which obviously everybody highlighted here did, we then moved on to a call, which was an interview call, one-on-one. I believe over Discord. And basically, I just asked them these 15 questions on the call. What made you interested in this role, and what do you know about OnlyFans chatting? Have you ever done any roleplay, customer support, or sales-based chatting before? This role requires typing fast and multitasking. How comfortable are you juggling 3 to 5 chats at once? How would you keep a conversation going if fans stop replying? Just the normal types of questions that you would want to ask a potential chatter who's going to be taking over your account or your model's account if you're an agency. And then I'd mix and match and add in some extra personal questions depending on who I was having a conversation with. Once they had the interview, obviously they'd get pass or fail. If people passed, I'd move them on to the training. So if they passed the interview, which most of the people who had the interview did, except for obviously Jay, because he was being super weird about his screen share. He was saying like a past agency stole his bank account details or something like that, which was an obvious lie. A lot of these chatters could potentially be working for another agency as well as working for you. So you want to make sure that they're super reliable, super trustable, and just not weird. This guy had the best application, but again, that one objection about the screen share was a no go for me. So we hired G, we hired R1, A, and M. A and G got fired, and then we brought on R2, which was somebody who was referred by R1. Um, but again, this person didn't pass the stage 3. I just didn't like how they didn't pass, like how they was during stage 3, so they did not pass. Again, I put the note here. They did not pass, but we again brought them on a few months down the line and trained them further, and then hired them. And now this person is very, very good because she's bouncing off R1. R1 and R2 are kind of working together, and it's just amazing. So we have a great chat team, and this is how we did it. Everything that I put through in the video, and this is how we originally hired them. Now, I mentioned that the people who got through the interview stage, they got pushed onto training. A lot of these people, I'd say like 50% of the people that we did hire had no experience at all. So training was super, super important. And that's when I built out a complete full training on Notion for the chatters. So basically, they had intro modules, which is like deep, deep stuff about everything that they'd go through. Again, fetishes, kink navigation, speaking their language, sales psychology, the art of the close, a bunch of stuff that they had to go through, workflow, shifts, and performance metrics. This is the first 10 modules. And then in the chatter training, we have customer archetypes, fan psychology, uh, ranking fans, like how to tag the fans properly. We had the documents, how to engage each fan. Um, Obviously, this is all data. We had data farming, how to collect and use fan intel for profit, conversation arcs, the art of long form seduction, objection handling, denial and frustration, the art of denial and frustration, re engagement systems, shift change handover process, building a whale funnel, cross sell and upsell playbooks, timed offers, flash sales, holiday hooks, chatter scripts and templates, custom content strategies, and then obviously like a few stuff about compensation and how the chatters can level up inside of the business again. And then we have like I believe I moved the chatter tools to the actual training. Then we have some more advanced master classes on training. Again, just stuff like this so we can train the chatter to be the best that they can be. And I'm not going to go into the training because it's a lot. It took me weeks to do. Maybe that can be a future video, but this video is just about how to hire great chatters. Again, it's super simple. You find them on onlyjobs.ph, create your job post. Again, give them a form to go to, create the form, which is like this. We went through the form. Here's all the tests that, like the main tests that you want people to go through: typing speed, internet speed, English proficiency, personality test, IQ test. Collect all the data on Google Sheets so that you don't miss anything. Again, you can copy the way I rank things. Green is the best, yellow second best, orange third best, and then red is bad. Um, and then obviously you want to move them onto a stage 2. Once you've plugged in all of this data, you want like 50 to 100 different applicants. You don't want to just take the first 5, the first 10, because as you can see here, right, um, the first 36 people who from this hiring process. This is the first time we hired people. None of them got chosen or stayed on. One person got chosen and then fired. And then like the last set of people are the ones that actually stayed on and are part of our very first chat team. So you want a good amount of people to choose from. And this is just how I set it out. It looks ugly, it looks all over the place, but it makes sense. Then obviously you want a next sheet to move people on to stage 2, which is just some mock chat assignments. I went through them, just phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. You can go back and pause the video to kind of see what I did if you want. Then you would either pass the applicants to stage 3 or they would fail stage 2. Stage 3 is live one-on-one via Discord, which is just typing. You're pretending to be certain fans, certain archetypes. Again, do 4 minimum. See how they react. See if they pass stage 3, see if they fail stage 3. And then you can move them on to the interview questions. Get to know them a bit more because you're going to be working with these people. And then whoever you decide to hire from after the interview, then you want some training for them. And again, you can make your own training. It's not the easiest thing ever. It takes a lot to make a good training, but just use the knowledge that you know. Search up on YouTube if you don't have any training of your own. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's super simple to get great chatters if you filter the right way, if you get enough data and you choose the right people. I just want to reiterate one more time. Number 44J was the best applicant. He didn't get hired because in the end, he was strange. That's pretty much it. Then R1, for example, didn't get hired in the main bunch of people, but now is arguably one of the best chatters. So just be careful, look at the data properly. Don't just base it on all of the tests. The tests are good to flush out all of the time wasters. But again, interview these people, see what their interests are, see more about them personally, if they're a good fit for your business, and you'll find the best chatters. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.